Hey there, let me start this video with a question. You are given a list of iterable, be it a string, tuple or list, and are required to print both the index and the value at the same time. How do you do it? Very simple, you can use a for loop and you can do it. But there is a better and efficient way to do it, and that is using the Python's built-in function called enumerate. And here is the agenda for today's video. First of all, I am going to show you how can you loop through index and values using only for, nothing else. Then comes the enumerate. What is enumerate? And then how we can use enumerate to print both index and value, and how we can, lastly, printing index and values using enumerate with a custom start point. With this, let us jump into the coding part. If you recall my video in for the for loop, I have given this example. Let me copy it from here. Here I have got a list, and what I am going to do here is that paste it here, and let us run this code. Python enumerate dot py. Now here I have got index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and simple is at index 0, easy at index 1, Python is at index 2, so on so forth. Hello world is at index 3 and world at index 4. But what if I tell you that okay, I do not want to start from 0, I want my numbering system for indices to be start from 1, so that it is understandable to the person who is not that much familiar with Python. Being a Python learner, you know that okay, all the indices start with 0. So for unknown, they start counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. How do you achieve that? You can say easy. I can say something like this, I plus 1 here, and then if I run this program, then it should give me what I am looking for. I am getting here. But what if I tell you there is a better way and a smarter way to do it? And here comes enumerate. Let me make it a comment. So what does enumerate do? Let me go to the Python official documentation page. Here you can say this is Python official documentation page. And what does enumerate do? It returns an enumerate object. Iterable must be a sequence. This is what I said earlier, that it can be a string, tuple or a list, and then it is going to return you a tuple containing a count from the start which defaults to 0 and the values obtained from iterating over the iterable. Now I am going to break down this particular line, that it returns an enumerate object. So what I do go here is that my list, I am going to define a list is equal to, it's a list, and what I do here is that again I am not here, let me do it here itself, enumerate, and put it everything over here. So and now if I try to print my list, what do I get here? I am getting here, you can see enumerate object at blah 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 location. Or if I change it to print type my list, then it is going to output class enumerate. So it is an enumerate object. Now how do I print it? That is the question. We need to convert it into a list before we can actually see what is contained into this object, which is I am going to do right now. Print list enumerate, and then inside enumerate I am going to put this. Now if I run this program, here you see the last line. I would like you to pay the attention here. Now it is giving me a list of tuple, where and each tuple is each tuple consists of index and the value from the list. So simple is at index 0, easy is at index 1, Python is at index 2 here, and so on so forth. And now because it is a tuple, we can very easily access the indices. So coming back to my original problem, that I have to go iterate through this list, printing both the indices and the value. How do I do it efficiently? Making everything into a comment again. defining the list here. For I comma v, you can name these variables anything, but I am just putting here index and value. In enumerate, where do I want to enumerate? My list. Print I comma v. Now if I run this program, 0 index simple, index 1 easy, index 2 Python. Here we are back to square one. If you remember my what I said when I was using a simple for loop, that friends outside the computer fraternity, they start counting from 1, they do not start from 0. So for them, simple should be at 1, easy should be at 2, Python should be at 3, and so on. How does this enumerate make my life easy? Very simple. I can come over here and write here a start is equal to 1, and that is all it takes. Now you see I have simple at 1, easy at 2, Python at 3. So this is the beauty. So not without much fuss, without anything extra, I have started it. If I want to start the counting from, let's say, 11, I can give here 11 and it will start from there. Here you see. In fact, you can start it from negative numbers also. If I say here -5, then you will see -5 simple, -4 easy, -3 Python, -2 hello, -1 world. So that is where enumerate comes handy. Now what happens when I do not want to print both indices and value, and I give only one parameter here? For example, if I come over here and write for I in enumerate my list, again that is my iterable, my list, print I, what will it give it to me? Now I am getting here output in a tuple format, so it is giving me a tuple of both index and the value, even though I am just trying to print only the index. Same goes here. If I just say for v in enumerate, again you can give any variable name here. I am just using I and v because it resonates with index and value. Again you see here it is, I am getting the same output in the tuple format, 0 simple, 1 comma easy, 2 comma Python, in the tuple format. So even if we try to do print only one thing, I am getting a tuple of both index and the value. My advice or recommendation is that if you have to print only index or value, you better stick to our old format using only the for loop, as I have shown it to you in my video. Enumerate is better when you want to iterate through both indices and the values and want to have maybe a custom start point. That's all about the enumerate function. I am going to upload all this code onto the GitHub page and give the link into the description box. If you find this video useful, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Till that time, happy coding.